You got a contract ready for you to sign. And they had Larry Fitzgerald, 2004 draft pick like myself, number 3 overall pick. I was number 40 overall pick. And I just think that that's the thing that I want these youngers to understand is the hardest thing for me is to realize was I used to think that, man, I am only it because I am a byproduct of those things. And somebody go, no, those things are a byproduct of me. Yes, I'm on that plane saying goodbye to the one thing that has always been loyal. Football has always been loyal because it don't owe me nothing. I love it, it don't love me. But everything I learned in life, to me, football was like 100 yards long, 53.5 yards wide. Everything happened in life happened on that field, boy. Everything. Disappointment, heartbreak, triumph, breakdown, breakthrough, all that stuff, right? So for me, I'm saying goodbye to what gave me me.
Yeah.
So I thought. So that's what. So so it's like, well, being what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? And I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I knew football had come to an end because I was injured so much. I got some great memories in football. Great memories. I caught a touchdown pass from Steve McNair. I caught Vince Young's first touchdown pass as a starter. He threw to me against the Dallas Cowboys, against Roy Williams in Tennessee. I caught one pass my rookie year on Christmas Day against the Denver Broncos. I completely jumped over Champ Bailey. And listen, Champ Bailey, Hall of Fame Champ Bailey.
Hall of Fame Champ.
And stripped him on the butt when I ran by.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. Shoot a shot.
Well, folks, looks like another heartbreaking loss for the Tigers. They go down in a nail-biter, 13-17. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam, I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron, well I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testified on
1317 Sports presents Get It Off Your Chest podcast, sponsored by no one. And now, here's your host, Tito.
Welcome to 1317 Sports presents Get It Off Your Chest podcast. Today, we're honored to have a guest who truly embodies excellence on and off the field. He's a former NFL star tight end, a proud Gator alum, and a second-round pick in the 2004 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans. But his story doesn't stop at football. He's also an author of 2 powerful books that inspire and motivate. A sought-after speaker and a mentor to countless individuals striving to live uncommon lives. Let's give a warm welcome, the one and the only, Mr. Ben Troupe. Yes, sir. My boy.
I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna have to fly to you, Stevens, man, so I can get that prop. I appreciate the intro, man.
Hey, listen. When it comes to the intros, I always think about Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey in the Kings of Comedy, and he and the Apollo, and he was always the maestro. He was the person, the hype man, bring him out. And so I'm like, if I ever get an opportunity, and I remember I did it in my talent show in high school, and I was the maestro. And when I get an opportunity to give people flowers where they're due, hey man, I'm gonna rock and roll with it, man. So man, I appreciate you jumping on, the podcast. As I when it comes to this podcast, it's a Get It Off Your Chest podcast. It's just to get things off your chest, but mainly to tell the story, the journey of, former and current athletes, coaches, to inspire the aspired, right? The more you know, the more you grow. And as I always say, we need to educate so we can elevate. So Ben, once again, thank you for joining the show. And I just want to get your story, your journey, so and maybe change the perception that some people may have on you. That people don't know what they see on TV and what they see in the media. They don't know the real. And so I always like to have a starting point, and I like to go back, way back in the time. That's for us old heads. That's some Black Street right there. Let's go back to your beginning days when it comes to football and sports. And I know it starts in the small town of Swainsboro, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Swainsboro's finest, you
Yes,
know.
sir.
So when it comes to your early life and your influences, growing up in Swainsboro, which is like one stop light town, how did your upbringing in a small rural town shape your perspective on life?
I believe I was blessed because I'm a country boy, so I'm from a place where everybody knows everybody. And when I say everybody, it's not like I know everybody in the town, but it feels like you do. So, back when I first started playing football, you had to be 7 years old to play. So my first sport was soccer because I was 6. Basically, my mom was like, "This boy finna get up out my house." And East Georgia State College, which is still around right now, you had to go play soccer over there. So my mom, I think, was a student at the time. If I don't know if she was enrolled yet, but I got a chance to go play soccer. And then when I turned 7, so the cutoff to play Pee Wee football was September 1st. Well, my birthday is September 1st. So they was getting ready to shut it down. Mind you, my mama just filling out these papers. They like, "Miss Troupe, this the cutoff date." My mama looking at this dude like, "Listen to me. Y'all said the cutoff date is September 1st. Today is September 1st. He is 7 today. He's going to play football." So what made that story funny was, back when the recreation department, I'm from a place to where we had an all orange dirt field what baseball players play on.
Yeah.
That's what our track looked like. They had the chalk around. So whatever shoes you had on looked like you got done playing 9 innings when you got done running, right? So the recreation department was off of Church Street. And I remember this. My mom is pleading with these people. They ain't listening. My pops, he shows up in the door. They was like, my dad was like, "My son is 7." And this how small it is. My bad, John. They ain't say Mr. John because it's small. So I ended up getting, they found the biggest helmet they could find. They had to find a big helmet for me. I'm a big head individual, so. But what I remember, that's back when you had the hip pads, you had the knee pads, you had the thigh pads, you had the little belt that go around.
Yep.
Your little hip pads coming out. But that's when every athlete in that town played. And we all had on all white. You got your white jersey, white pants, black cleats now. Black
Yeah.
cleats. Well, if you could afford cleats.
Correct.
So I'm on the team and I get out there and it's so small. Once again, they announce every team. They'll go from Pee Wee. It used to be Pee Wee. You can't use this word now, but it used to be Pee Wee, midget, and junior.
Yeah.
Right? They announced all the teams. So me and my brother got to play with each other. Brothers automatically on the same. My brother's a year older than me. And I just remember not having no cleats. I remember not having. Listen, I'm ready to play football. I have no cleats, none.
Wow.
So my coach said, my mom was honest. She was like, "Listen, my son want to play, but he ain't got no cleats." I remember my coach just saying, "Man, you just have him here tomorrow." What? You just have him here tomorrow, Miss Troupe. He ain't say. That's all he said. You just have him here tomorrow. She's like, "All right." Get out the car the next day. No, listen, I got on some shoes, no cleats. Run up to my coach. He gave me 2 pair of cleats. He gave me a pair of cleats to practice in, pair of cleats to play in. And I know what it did for me, but I do not know what it did for my mom. I know what it did for me because I'm a youngin', I'm 7, but I can only imagine, my mom, was 20 years older than me. So here it is, 27-year-old mom, already got 3 kids, and 2 of them play football. So she got 2 in the league. And I just remember what that did for me. Cause I ain't thinking nothing else. I'm thinking, oh, that's what coaches do, right? I ain't got no cleats to get me cleats. Not realizing that no special coaches do that. All coaches don't do that. And that's when the journey began. I mean, I knew nothing about betting. My uncle was betting though. My mom's only brother, he out there making a couple of coins. So he like, hey, he was. And I ain't mad at it, but you're 7 years old, your uncle shoot you a 20 piece. Like, what?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And so, and what I appreciated the most about Swainsboro, Georgia, because I moved away when I was in the 5th grade. Everybody was competitive, but it was love. Like we wanted, man, on that field, we ain't got no friends. And the best player I played against, so because my birthday is September 1st, you only supposed to play 2 years. I got to play 3 because I turned 7 on the cutoff. So I played 7, 8, and 9. You know how many players watching us over there on the Pee Wee field saying, boy, I can't. I said, well, by the time I get up there with y'all moving on to a higher league. The best player I played against was a young lady by the name of Frances. It was a girl.
A girl.
It was The first time I ever seen the reverse, T-Steve, listen. I see him heading off to the right. I'm going to the right. All of a sudden, she came back this way. I said, wait, down the sideline, right? But I appreciated that. I just appreciated the competitiveness. And when you a country boy, that's just what we did. Like, it's not like now to where the best athlete, you got to ask them, hey, man, are you going to play? No. I mean, my auntie lived in the projects, and where the recreation department was, you walk through the project, you walk across the graveyard, the street to get to the recreation department, and we didn't think nothing of it. Like we ain't have no quarrels about it. And Swainsboro, Georgia gave me an athletic identity that I did not know I needed. Because, I didn't know that we was poor. I didn't know that. We were, but I didn't know that. Because I didn't lack anything because I had a great grandmother. I had two grandmothers. I had two grandfathers. So I had family everywhere. Now, when it comes to the money, no, we didn't have the most money. But, boy, when you talk about love, support, and that, boy, listen, and that brown ball, boy, it never let me down. So from the age 7, I just started doing, and we had a little paper down there called a forest blade. Little small little paper. My grandma was like, boy, people telling my grandma, boy, your grandson in the paper. Mind you, I know nothing about it. She said, boy, look at this. I'm thinking this. My mind, I'm thinking this is normal. Oh, you scored 5, 6 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah.
Wasn't no passing, man. I feel bad for the receivers.
Yeah, 100%.
Y'all, they just out there.
100%.
No route tree. Ain't no route tree. Ain't no slant. Just throw it. I remember throwing one pass my whole career, and my partner called it. And I said, boy, you can catch it? Like, yeah, I'm out there the whole time. Y'all, I said, hey, we just running. But it was Swainsboro GA gave me a sense of community in a way that I didn't even know what community was. Swainsboro make you think this is how the world is. And it took me moving away to Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters, to realize, wait a minute, it's places out there that big. It's places to the point I couldn't go nowhere growing up in the 5th grade without knowing somebody. To going somewhere I don't know nobody.
Right.
Overnight. But I am who I am because of where I'm from. Like when people say, man, my humble beginnings is the greatest beginnings in the world, because even now to this day, Swainsboro taught me how to treat people.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care how you look. I don't care your socioeconomic status, your religious beliefs, who you love, it don't matter. Because we grew up, man, you either were who you say you were or you weren't. It wasn't, we didn't have the bickering, the finding a way. We didn't look for ways to have indifference. We ain't doing it. We ain't know how to do that. So, yeah, man, I owe Swainsboro GA a lot. I like how you said Swainsboro finest, man. We thorough from the borough, man. That's what I said.
Yeah, man.
The borough, and if I could go back, man, I wouldn't change it one bit, because when I see somebody from Swainsboro, even at my age now, I'm going crazy if I see him, because ain't gonna be too many people from Swainsboro.
Swainsboro, nope. Yes.
I represent something far greater than myself, only because Swainsboro, Georgia is a place where people have genuine love for each other. And if they don't, the love is real, the hate is fake. Yeah. But the hate grows. The hate is growing. But we always say this: hate in Swainsboro can get killed from a face-to-face convo. I mean, because I'm gonna say, who is it? You tell man, take me to his house.
Yep.
No, mind you, my TC, I didn't say call him, because you can fake on the phone.
Yep, 100%.
And I'm like, what? And as soon as you're not gonna know the conversation, what you talking about? What? Oh, what you mean? No, being it was. Well, tell me what it was. So that way, I say, okay, we have a conversation. It's over with. It's over with. Now, if I hear something again, I'm gonna be. Mind you, it ain't gonna lead to nothing physical. Listen, let me tell y'all youngers out there something. When you young and your bones heal real quick, you can squabble a little bit. Try that stuff when you get in your 30s and 40s. You'll tell your ACL swinging on somebody.
Real quick.
You missed.
Real quick. And so, Ben, it's funny when, you're talking about, the small town and what it did for you. And to this day, I was watching This the other night I was watching a documentary on Magic Bird and Johnson and Larry Bird. And Magic Johnson is big personality and ended up getting drafted by the Lakers and the Showtime Lakers, and great. And Larry Bird, he's from a small town in Indiana, small town, one stoplight, truly one stoplight, and everybody knew each other. And he said he thought that was all life was about, was that small town, right? And so, and he didn't look at color, because they didn't look at color in that town. It was almost like being in the whole bubble. And so once he went to Indiana State, which is a still small area, he felt at home. And he said family, right? Family was most important to him, and being close to family. And he, even in the off season, he would go back home. Everybody else is going out of town, going on vacation. He's going back home to South Indiana in a small town, and he's paving a driveway for his mom. This is Larry Bird, right? Like, long story short, Larry Bird ends up hurting his back, which ultimately ended his career down the line from paving his mama's driveway. And he had the money to hire someone else, but he's like, it's Swain. I mean, I'm about to say Swainsboro. It's my town. I'm not gonna hire anybody. I'm gonna do it myself. And so, but his passion, his love for that small town, like, is what he hung on. And when you got out to the real world, like you said, going to Augusta, and people like don't know each other, and you don't know who I am, and you're not showing the same love, it was kind of like a shock. You know what I mean? And it sounds like that's what happens to you. And now you mentioned a few things when it came to the people of Swainsboro. And as you said, we didn't have a lot of money, but I didn't know that, because we had so much love from my family and the community, because we all knew each other. So with that being said, who were some of the biggest influences in your childhood, and what lessons did they teach you that you still carry today? And you kind of answered all that stuff, but just add to that.
Every person that did the most for me either came from the church or my family. And I say my family because my dad and my two uncles are the youngest of like 10 kids. My dad will be 67 this year. He got sisters that's 80, 81,
Wow.
82. So they that far apart. Their sons and daughters became like, they my cousins, but they 10, 11, 12, 13 years older than me. My cousin Sean Gillis, man, I mean, got married in 1999, still married to this day. I mean, just rock solid. Like, I mean, a ward now. He's a ward now, in Georgia. My cousin Purcell Dasher, John Dasher. My cousins, Josh Troupe, Kwame Coleman, Lil Rico, Big Rico, like all the men. And you got the ladies too. You got my aunts, Barbara Jean, Aunt Sita, my Aunt Carol, my Aunt Kathy. Because what I got was everything I needed. They had think about it, they 10, 15 years ahead of me. So
Yeah,
whatever
100%.
they've done it twice, which means my dad wasn't around that much because he was in and out of prison, right? I didn't lack anything. Now, did I lack him? Yes. But did I lack my daddy's influence? No. Because my daddy was giving it to his my older cousin. So they speaking from him. Man, Uncle John to say this, Uncle John to say that. But when you start talking about the people, man, there was a dude named Brother Eric, man. Brother Eric Bass. He used to go to the church. We had a church called Victory Temple Church. Steve, man, when you talk about a dude that loved his wife,
Yeah.
loved his children, loved his family, loved God, and it wasn't a front. Who he was, if you called him by himself, is who he was if you called him in the crowd. Same dude. My dad was in and out, right, even in the church, and he always showed genuine love, and he never said nothing negative about my pops. He didn't say your daddy, never. It was all he talked about my dad as if he was up, as if to say, man, I know who he really is. When I think about a dude named, Brother Middleton, other preacher, Sister Christine Peoples, who was the pastor of my church at Victory Temple Church, her son, Titus Peoples. I was born September 1st, 1982. That boy was born July 3rd, 1982. He's the oldest friend I have. When people used to say, who you role models, whatever, people be talking about celebrities, I'd be like, I don't know those people. Well, my friends is. Well, man, my cousin's over there. My uncle's right there. Like, because they don't even know how much I poured from them. They don't know when I'm getting ready to get recruited. I don't even know what recruiting is. I don't know nothing about that.
Right.
My cousin Purcell, who partner to this day. I mean, he my cousin, but he like, he closer than that. He the one telling me, hey, when Steve Spurrier and them come to your house, I'm like, why would Steve Spurrier come to my house? Because they already, think about this, right? You would think that my cousins went through what I went through athletically, but they didn't.
Wow.
But because I'm their cousin, hey, I got him. If he need anything from me. Swainsboro laid the foundation in a very, very young me to progress as I got older. So for my mom, dad, my siblings, my brother Lucas, my sister Nikki, my sister Cariana, my family is they are such a circle of freaking information and experience because you get the education from them, you get experiences from them. This is what they really tell you. Listen, this is how we talk in my family. I'm not going to tell you not to do this. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen if you do it. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but this will happen if you do it, right? And like my cousin said, listen. If you want your behind to be soft, have a hard head, because hard heads make soft behinds. So go ahead.
Yeah.
But what happens is I'm also on this generational curse battle too, because all the men in my family at one point was going to prison, not jail. They're going to prison. Me and my brother decided, look, man, somebody got to kill this, man. We didn't have no heart to heart, but we were like, hey, bro, this ain't it. So when people talk about Waycross, Georgia, and Wrightsville, Georgia, and Swainsboro, Georgia, and Atlanta, Georgia, and Augusta, Georgia, people say, hey, man, Wrightsville, Georgia. I remember that somebody say, man, when you think of Wrightsville, what you think of? I said, they say, that's where Herschel Walker from. I said, my daddy was locked up down there. What?
Right.
But I'm not saying it like, whoa, it's me. I'm saying, man, I knew about the prison system before I even knew about the educational system. My dad was locked up that long.
Man. And that's crazy.
But, or however, I'd rather tell people about what happened. I'm not using that because I had somebody tell me, which is so true. That's the truth. The same excuse you have, that was somebody else's reason. Your excuse was their reason. Mm-hmm. So my pops decided to make some decisions. He said, listen, and now, going back to what I said about Eric Best, how he was talking about my dad, that's what he does now. My daddy said this. He said, boy, I was tearing these streets up. Now I'm going to spend the rest of my life cleaning them up.
Man.
Because he got a nonprofit called Men Reaching Men. My nonprofit is called Don Karma Crew. So he deal with grown men. I deal with young men. And my mama got a nonprofit called Sister Soldiers in Christ. So these people are still paving the way for me. And they all in my hometown of Swainsboro. Even though I don't live there no more.
Yeah.
My inspiration to this day comes from my family members, because even though I'm the one that get to carry the Troupe name athletically, man, they was carrying it way before me. I'm coming way down the line. The least I can do, if I'm not going to make you proud, I'm not going to disappoint you. If I'm not going to make you proud, I ain't going to disappoint you either.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a people pleaser, but I say that to say these people have put in so much work, man. Like to my male cousin, nothing against my female cousin.
Mm-hmm.
To my male cousin, they have no clue what they did for me, because, TC, when you don't know your pops, man, that's a huge gap, man. That's a huge
100%.
Because I want my daddy to say, if my mama come to the game, I'm my mama's baby. She gonna say, good job.
100%. 100%.
Daddy looking to look, the daddy saying, I don't know. But that one play, he don't mean no, but daddy's on participation trophy. Daddy knows, hey boy, football is nothing but a microcosm of life. Boy, you gonna quit out there, you gonna quit out here. You ain't gonna give it all like that. So, and while he didn't come to a lot of games, man, his presence was all around me. Boy, his aura, because my daddy has the type of spirit, man, you don't got to do with meet him one time. You meet him one time. I don't care when you met him, 10 years ago, yesterday, you going to say, I met this dude. I didn't realize that's what's flowing through me. I got his DNA in me. So as much as I thought it was me, I tell people this all the time. I say, if my mom was beautiful, yeah, and my dad is handsome, yeah, I'm a benefit from that. I'm coming from a handsome man and a beautiful. I ain't did nothing. People say, so I say, but as much as I benefited from what I thought I could see externally, it's what nobody could see. My daddy gave me some stuff, boy. My mama gave me some stuff. My physical strength, my size or whatever, I get that from her. But my spiritual walk, my perseverance, my ability to just keep going, respect everybody, don't bother nobody, I get that from Cheryl. and I think the thing is now, in some type of way, I'm telling my parents, thank you every day, no matter what I'm doing. Because my daddy was a great basketball player. But this is what blew my mind. About 2016, 2017, me and my brother and my sisters, we all went to Virginia Beach. Because we think we it, right? You think you somebody. It's Thanksgiving, we going around the room, TC, everybody's like telling about what they thankful for. Brother in the military, I went to the NFL. My sister got a bachelor's and a master's, whatever. So my dad, like, everybody talking, all these kids, adults. My mama spoke to my daddy. My daddy said, when I was young, I prayed and asked God to give me three things. He said, I want to go pro, I want to graduate from college, and I want to go to the military. He said, God didn't give it to me. He gave it to y'all.
Mm.
So I say to everybody in my family, because there's too many names to name, these gentlemen and these women are the greatest. And not even talking about my grandparents and their influence. From Nella Weezel was my great grandmother. Cora Bell Williams, my mom's mom. To Molly Troupe, my dad's mom. To Clifford Troupe, my dad's dad. To James, that was my great grandmother's husband. Listen, I'm getting all this wisdom. This is what I'm getting. So when people say, I ain't never met my grandparents, but I knew my great grandparents, I say to her house. So
I'm one of those. Hey, Troupe. I'm one of those people. I never met my grandparents, man. My mom's
man,
my
let me tell
mom's
you
parents
something.
died when she was 12.
TC, I guarantee you, they in heaven right now saying, that's him. That's your grandson right there. Oh my God. Because I was blessed. That's what I'm saying. So you think about, I got my great grandma over here, my other grandma over here, my other grandma and grandpa. This is what I had in Swainsboro. Hey, think about this. My dad's mom, we ate Sunday dinner at her house every day. Even when we moved to Augusta, we drive all the way from Augusta to Vidalia, where she's from. Vidalia is known for the Vidalia, and the Vidalia sweet onions. That's where my dad's from. Until my grandma died. My grandma died in 2001. And because my freshman year was 2000. After my freshman year, we played in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, and my cousin John came to pick me up. And the whole way down, he wasn't really himself. We talking or whatever. I'm in the dorm waiting on him to come get me. We driving back to Vidalia. We get right there to I'm thinking, why we going to Vidalia? Like, why? Because I live, I'm thinking, why ain't you taking me home to Swainsboro? We get right there to my grandma's house, and I can see all these people, and I'm looking at their faces. My cousin John said, grandma died. That boy he did not tell me until we got.
Wow.
Now, mind you, they sent him to tell me. Couldn't do it. Listen to me. Listen, TC couldn't do it because that's how close we are. Meaning, when people say, what is real family? I say two things cannot come between real family. What? Time, right? And space. Space can't get in between it. Time can't get in between it. Because we don't see each other like we want to. Well, listen, when he said that to me, I don't know how long it took me to get out of that car. I don't remember walking in the house. I don't remember talking to nobody. Time stood still. And everybody in that house was affected the same. Everybody, from my granddaddy to my dad, to my mom, to my aunts, to my uncles, to my cousins, we were shook. Because this lady kept the whole family together. I'm talking about my grandma could feed, this is no lie, my grandma could feed 100 people on Sunday. Nope. This is just how it go. The adults go first. So TC, just say you just walked in. I mean, my name is Torrance. Stand over here. We watching all them adults go. We count them. Right? There's a bunch of them now. Like, we got about 17, 18 adults. Let them get there. And once that last adult sat down, we in that kitchen. And mind you, my grandma had a she had a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home. But when we was growing up, man, that thing was like a mansion. There was so many kids running through there. And when I go see that house now, I'm like, what? This little house?
You bigger than the house.
Listen, and my grandma understood this. My grandma, once again, didn't have a lot of money, man. But when it come to family, man, she was a billionaire, trillionaire. Because when my grandmother died, it shook Vidalia, Georgia. It shook the little smaller town again. It shook it because her impact was far greater than what she did on Sunday. My grandma would go to the store. She's not walking by no homeless person. Because to them, that's a person who just down on their luck. She going in, she gonna buy them something. She gonna feed it to them. She gonna open up a drink, drinking it to them. You see what I'm saying? My great grandmother, my mama say back in the day, she said, yeah, man, you see people politics and stuff. She said, y'all grandma and them get out there with their signs saying vote for this. Listen, I come from some bad mama jammas. You hear me? So I don't take credit, man. It's so humbling to be sitting here with you because my story is only a piece of theirs.
Yeah, right.
And we all a big puzzle, right? So when it comes to them, I am the athletic part. I am the author because I am the speaker. Because to take it, that's why it's so important for people to know who they come from. Because people just like, man, you tell you no, it comes from somewhere. And it's good to pinpoint, oh, I get this from this person. Because when you meet your family at the family reunion, that's what they say. Oh, he looked just like, oh, she looked just like, boy, you walk just like, and you walk away from that thing saying, hey, they've been doing this for a while. Like, yeah, man. And I think what I got a chance to do, I got a chance to get all this wisdom, all this experience, all this creativity. And the greatest thing was the two people I came from, John and Cheryl, never told me I couldn't do it. Even if they didn't understand. Even if my son did not. Did they probably call me weird by themselves? That boy, they're weird. But they never said it to me. Even to this day. So I think by them embracing the part of me that they didn't understand, kept from having that negative self-talk. Because we have it, right? But my daddy would say, but where you get that from? Who you heard that from? You ain't hearing it from him. So my dad said, listen, whoever you heard that from, either stop talking to them or tell me who they are. I'm going to tell them to stop talking. Because that negative stuff, listen, and my daddy went to prison and got respected by his brothers and his mama and his family like he never went. They didn't, I had a bunch of cousins and to me, that's what I was watching. I'm like, wait a minute. You're supposed to treat him. Well, listen. If my daddy came home from prison, he'll get to get his plate first on Sunday. My grandma said, let John go on that first. We ain't wearing no free John Troupe shirt. That's what they do. We don't do all that.
Right.
My grandma said, my daddy would say, listen, but he'd say, son, if I did the time, I need to lay down. I'm gonna lay down for the time being. But shout out to Tyson Stevenson, who, may he rest in peace, the sheriff of Swainsboro, Georgia. He and my daddy were like best friends. He said, Benny, let me tell you, they call me, people that know me call me Benny or Ben. Most people don't even know my real name is Benjamin. I got friends that don't even know my name is Benjamin.
Benjamin.
But check this out. I got to meet Tyson Steve. He said, Benjamin, let me tell you something. Because of you, your brother, your sisters, and your mama is the reason why I never let your daddy go forever. He's coming home. And when my daddy finally came out and stayed out, he used to do so much for Tyson Stevenson. My daddy went on a high-speed chase. In Swainsboro. Now, my daddy was him now. He did some stuff. Check this out. Goes on a high-speed chase. They catch him, T-Steve. He's in jail. Listen. My dad is in jail saying Tyson Stevens isn't going to let me out of here. Listen, Tyson Stevens walks in and say, cut him loose. They saying, but he cut him loose. Listen. My dad is walking out. Tyson look at my dad and say, John, you pushing it. I'm sorry. You pushing it. And no, Tyson Stevenson would tell me, he said, man, I don't want the streets to kill you. I don't want the streets to take your daddy from y'all. And my daddy, they didn't, thank God. Now my daddy, he doing his thing in the street, but it's like with his nonprofit, but too many stories, man. And it's all rooted, you know what I'm saying? When my mama got kicked out of her house, my mama house, you know what I'm saying, they kicking her out of her house because my daddy was a breadwinner. Do you know a dude by the name of Milton Gray? He is the president of Citizens Bank in Swainsboro. The president rolled up his sleeves. They pulled up with 2 moving trucks. He helped the people move the stuff out of my mama's house. The police did not come over there. He paid for like 3 or 4 months my mama to move somewhere else. This is what the president did of the bank. Listen, man, listen to me.
So, hey, shout out to Swainsboro, Georgia. I'm gonna tell you that.
What I'm saying is, listen, man, God gives me tremendous favor in this life, T. Steve. And I think about this. I'm in college. Listen, I'm in college. My mama calling me, hey, man, I got to call you back. The moving truck's pulling up. Listen, now the moving truck pulling up. Mama, what? I got to go. Because you got to think, my mama don't know what's going to happen. 2 moving trucks move everything out. But then she seen Tyson. I mean, she seen not Tyson. She seen Milton. Milton said, Cheryl, I'm going to handle it, okay? You just stand over there. He ain't at work. Moving all this stuff. I come home, he said, yeah, man, he done paid. I think he might have paid it for 6 months. And I go, it just blows my mind. But so when Milton Gray wants to come to my game when I'm in the Titans. He want to come to the game. He thought I said, man, you can stay in my house. You want to? No, we gonna listen, bro. You can stay in my house. I mean, I got to go over here to this hotel because Milton has no clue. Because I'm shaking Milton's hand. I kind of squeezed it like we was in my house and I was giving him tickets. I squeezed his hand, and he don't know. I'm looking at him like I know who you really are. Like listen. I know you the president of the bank. No, bro, I know who you really are. And my mama activated it. See, when chaos arrived, boy, you showed up like Batman, boy. Ain't nobody even sent up no signal. And when people show you who they are in one instant. Forget all that.
100%.
I've been for 30 years. Listen, when it hit the fan, boy, he was there for my mama. And mind you, my mama and Milton went to school together. Right? Listen, white man. And listen, with no motive. Once again, love his wife. Milton loved his wife. So because you got me over here reflecting, man.
I love it. I love every bit of it. I
just realized Swainsboro, Georgia is my foundation. I can never repay it for what it has done for me because it's still doing it. It's like
doing it.
And I think the thing is, as I tell people this all the time, and I say, listen, man, sweet tea and shade tree for life, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a country boy to the end. I mean, it took me going to college to realize, man, people say, Troupe, when you put syrup on your biscuit, I said, boy, ain't nothing but hot bread. What you talking? Yeah. No, this is what they really saying, T. They're saying, Troupe, but you gonna put syrup on your biscuit. I said, the only way I'm not putting syrup on my biscuit is the syrup ain't available. If it ain't available, I can't put it on.
You're right.
My business. But nah, it is my pleasure for people to see me and ask me, have you ever had a bad day? And you know what they get? And the reason why they ask me that, because my dad in Swainsboro, it's a guy, he's a Florida Gator fan. He was working at Citizens Bank. He was a loan officer. I don't know if he still works there. When I met him, he said, Ben, every time your daddy come in this building, the whole atmosphere shifts. The whole thing. You having a bad day, you're going to have a good day. You having a good day, you're going to have a... He said, if your dad has ever had a bad day, I wouldn't. And I'm like, this is a loan officer. So for me, who am I to let... Yeah, I go through like anybody else, man. Yeah, I deal like anybody else. Tori, you know this too. We don't know who watching. See, we don't know who watching us. We don't get to fit in no more. Ain't no... It used to be, is that Tori? Hey, yo, Tori.
Yeah.
Who am I to rob another human being's experience because they saying, when I finally met Ben, man, he didn't want to talk to me. When I finally met Tori, he said, man, could you just... It's like something about what we've been blessed to have. It's for us to know, hey, man, take time out for somebody else, man, because that's somebody else, right? That's somebody else been waiting their whole life to meet you. As they used to tell us, boy, you up on somebody's wall. Boy. Somebody got your picture and your jersey on their wall. So when they finally meet you, I don't know if you can live up to the expectation, but you can definitely kill the dream. You can 100%. Kill it. I appreciate, mind you, I never knew my mom's dad. He died when she was a young girl. People see me and they know who I am. They say, wait, they don't say you being the football player. See, it's swearing, but they don't do that. They'll say, you John's son. You Shadow's son. You Carpenter's grandson. They'll say, wait a minute, your granddaddy named Carter. I said, yes, boy, let me tell you about your granddaddy. And I sit there for 10 minutes teaching like this. What? He said, boy, your daddy, they'll say, boy, let me tell you something. He said, your granddaddy was a big step. Listen, and I appreciate understanding that I come from the greatest. I come from giants in their communities. And my dad is like a local celebrity, man, but it's like the greatest compliment I ever get is you Cheryl's son, you John's son, you Molly grandson, because I'm getting acknowledged from who I come from, not what I do. I think I am. Because who you think listen, my mama named Cheryl, my wife named Cheryl. I'm sandwiched in between two Cheryl. I am, and I love it. I wouldn't change it. So, that sounds the first woman's name I ever knew would be the last woman's name I will ever know.
I love it, bro.
And I appreciate it.
That's beautiful, bro. And so it sounds like, your influences, your biggest influences were not only just your family, but the citizens and the townspeople of Swainsboro in general, which is, hearing this, it's crazy because in our community, right? You in our community, that's rare. That's rare, right? Where you got, your mom and your dad, you know your grandparents, you know your cousins. And so, I didn't have that. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's a city, and the nasty natties. That's beautiful. And a lot. And I look at, when I look at success, and some people measure success from the amount of money they have in the bank, but then other people look at success. I always say this, man, you got a loving wife and loving kids, and you guys are together, man, you're winning. That's success. And so
you went, man. You boy, TC,
you winning, you right. And so,
dropping them
but
gems right now.
yeah, 100%. And so, so you have these influences. You start playing football at 7, and you just so happen to be, you big in stature, right? And but you're young, and so I'm sure you got this a lot when you were younger. People expected you to know more than what you knew, and your motor skills. They expected you to, like, come off the line, at 100 miles an hour because you're the biggest person on the team. But you also, when it comes to the development through your cerebral development, well, that doesn't come into age. You have to grow into that. And so I'm sure you got that, because one of my best friends, Ray Edwards, he got that when we were growing up. And he was the youngest person on our team. Birthday's January 1st. And everybody always used to I need his birth certificate. I need to see his birth certificate, because he was so much bigger than everyone. And so now you're Swainsboro, your family, there's nothing but love. You like, hey, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love, which was more than money. And you didn't even know you was growing up, poor. And so you playing football, Troupe. When does it hit you that, I want to take this, and get a scholarship, and possibly have an opportunity to go to the NFL? When did that hit you as an adolescent?
Man, let me tell you something. That's crazy. When my best sport was football. My favorite sport was track. Cause I didn't hit a growth spurt till I got to high school. I was pretty normal size growing up. Man, I was pretty normal. I was like 5'7" in the 8th grade. 5'7",
Wow.
5'8". So what really blew my mind was track. So when I moved to Augusta, so I run track for Swainsboro is in Manue County. So you got Manue County Recreation Department. Shout out to Miss Carmichael and them. Miss Carmichael used to wear a visor just like Kirby Smart with a visor in Alpha Georgia.
Yeah.
He had that thing way before Kirby Smart was even thought about. So we go to, you go to state. State is all, listen, state was always in Augusta, Georgia at Butler High School. Right? It was always at Augusta, Georgia at Butler High School.
We're talking about track, right?
I'm talking about recreation track. I make it all the way to state. I make it to state. So finally, the last time I made it to state was at Butler High School in Augusta, Georgia. We go up there. My mom go up there. I don't know I'm finna move to Augusta. So my mom kept it under wraps, boy. So we moved to Augusta. I'm running track for I went to Wilkinson Gardens Elementary School, right? I run track. I make it. So now I'm going from Manue County to Richmond County. But once again, we in the same district. So you run it at Butler High School in Augusta. I run on a relay. I was the second leg. The last leg, the first leg was a dude named Gavin Willingham. The second leg was me. The third leg was a dude named David Wilchrist. The fourth leg was a dude named Eugene Lee. Eugene Lee was the fast. I was 12. Eugene Lee was the fastest 11-year-old I've ever seen in my life. To this day, this boy was Usain Bolt as a little small light skinned dude with green eyes. Crazy, right? Crazy. His dad approached. We go to state. We win the 4x1. His dad approaches my mom and says, "Hey, have you ever thought about your son running AAU track?" No, once again, country boy. I don't even know what AAU basketball is, let alone AAU track. So long story short, mom want to do it, but mom ain't got the funds, right? Grandma stepped in. My mom's mom. I got him. Cheryl, you just boom. So I'm running track. TC, I'm going to Atlanta, Georgia at Georgia Tech. We had the Georgia Tech for the Georgia game. They had an AAU track team called the DC Flyers. They had been around Augusta a long time. We was called the Road Runner Track Club. We was blowing DC Flyers out the water like we a brand new track club. I got to go to Maryland. So I go to we go to Bainbridge, Georgia. I got to go to Maryland for the semis. I did a long jump, the 4x1. My last jump in Maryland, I hit that thing. I got out there. I got out. 16-7. I could do that thing. I made it to the Nationals, and we also qualified for the 4x1. I'm gonna show you how this stuff works. The 4x1 and the long jump. I'm from Swainsboro, Georgia. I'm 12 years old. The nationals for AAU track was held at where? The University of Florida. That's where it was held at. Now, mind you, I'm not connecting them. I'm not connecting them. Now, here's another thing. Remember I told you when I was in Swainsboro, the state for recreation was ran at Butler High School in Augusta. I went to Butler High School. That's the high school I was known for. I went. So it's all coming around. So when I get to Butler, remember, there are no, if guys are going to college, I don't know about it because I didn't play my freshman year. I played my sophomore year on JV. I was a starting kicker, starting punter, and a starting tight end. Now, mind you.
And it's in high school.
In
high school. Football.
Over a summer. My freshman year, I'm about 5'8 and a half, 5'9", maybe. I don't play no football. I'm just a regular student. I'm just, because I got an older brother, made me think that high school was just gonna be much harder than middle school. So I'm paranoid, trying to keep my grades right, which I did. I don't even realize this. My mama said she woke up one morning. I walked by her and she was looking at me like this. I went from like 5'8" to like 6'2", 6'3" over a summer.
Man,
I mean, my growth spurt went like so. Once again, you know how it is, CC. So now, them coaches like, wait. They like not. They going, what's your Ben? Right, come here, stand right here. You looking? Mind you ain't thinking nothing of it. So I end up playing. I was starting to kick and starting punting, not because I could kick a punt, nobody else could do it. So it's not like I got so many roughing the punter, non-roughing the punter call. They were hitting me like I was. I said, dude, I'm the punter, right? You can't just run into the kicker. So fast forward to my junior year. I was a backup tight end. I was a backup. Football ain't really going the way I want because I played tight end because I was too fast. No, I was too not fast to play receiver, but I was fast enough, more than fast to play tight end. So when they first told me to go down with the tight end, I didn't know what a tight end was. Go down with the tight end. What's the tight end? I know what a wide receiver is. I know what a running back is. So I had to learn to embrace my role. My junior year, I'm a backup tight end, and I remember the Augusta Chronicle. They come to practice. My coach David Land was this dude. You talking about a dude that showed me what it was. Coach Land was him, man. Super duper like incredible individual, man.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know, it probably was 130 Division I schools back then, and I know lie. We come to practice in the spring. You see, we had like this little hill. We look up on this hill, all 130 of them. All of them up there watching. Because, Augusta, what we didn't know was how they recruit is they go to a major airport and they recruit 100 miles from it. They can go 100 miles from it in every direction. Well, we got a little small airport, called Daniel Field, and then Columbia, South Carolina is like 45 minutes from Augusta because Augusta's on the border.
Right.
So we do this hitting drill. They say, hey, y'all get up. So we got a defender. We got the offensive guy. So you just meet right there in the middle. You try to make a move. We had this he wasn't a little person, but we have a very, very short linebacker. He probably like 5'2", 5'3", a little thumper.
Wow.
They got me up against him. Well, they got 6'3" versus 5'3". So they give me the rock. I'm running up to him. I remember this. He lowered his head to tackle me, and I completely jump over him.
Hurdled him.
TC, I ain't thinking nothing of it. Man, I look up on that hill, man. There ain't no cell phone, but they right on their pass. But then I had a cousin named Hope who lived in Augusta. Her address was 1892 Neptune Drive. That's the address we was using because we weren't zoned for Butler, but by using her address, they let us use it. A dude from Augusta Chronicle was talking to my coach. He said, "Who this kid around? Who this guy around?" Oh, this what he said. He said, "Ben Troupe." He said he got hands like a catcher's mitt. He catch everything you throw at him, right? And he said, "What would he said? Well, he said, well, give me a one liner. How would you describe Coach David Land, Coach Land? How would you describe Ben Troupe in one line?" He said, "Georgia's best kept secret." That's what my coach said, and that was listen.
That's what they wrote.
And the headline called me Georgia's best kept secret. That's what the headline said. I didn't understand the power of media newspapers then.
Yeah.
After that, I'm getting a couple of my address is 2602 Shalimar Drive. I'm getting a couple of letters here and there. Steve, we had a screen though, and it had a screen on it. It had a real screen on it.
Yeah.
One day, knock at the screen door. It's Hope. Hope probably 5'5". She got these two look like 6-foot trash bags full to the top. She said, "Benny, I love you. But you can't," she said, "but you got to stop using our address." I go, "Why?" She said, "Boy, you get more mail than the whole neighborhood." She said, you get so much mail, they don't even put in the mailbox. They take rubber bands and they just put it on our. So listen, now mind you, here I am thinking I'm not really.
Right. You hey, Troupe, you and this is going into your junior year. You're going to your junior or your senior year.
Okay, this is my junior year going into my senior year.
My senior, and you still the backup, right?
Yeah, I started my senior year, but I had so many left. I mean, I wish I would have kept them all. I mean, you talking about if it was in the Southeast, North Carolina State, Georgia Tech, Clemson. But here's the thing, right? I didn't understand. See, I'm always operating with some just unicorn type dynamic. Listen, my head coach was a beast. I played football with Isaac West, who went to Furman, and Carlos Rogers, who won the Thorpe Award at Auburn. He was on that 2004 undefeated Auburn. We all on the same team, and we can't beat nobody. T-Steve, we can't beat nobody.
In high school.
So my senior year, when you asked me when it got real when these camps started reaching out. Man, ain't nobody got no money to go to no camp. Let me tell you how my coach worked. My coach said, "Hey man, Georgia Tech wanted me to come to a camp, and I was thinking I was getting recruited heavy by Georgia Tech because my grades is really really good." My coach was like, "Nah, you need to go to Georgia camp." I said, "Coach, man, I ain't got no money to go to no Georgia camp." He said, "Did I ask you about any money?" He said, "You want to go?" I said, "Yes, sir." That joker took me and Carlos Rogers. I'm pretty sure Carlos, because Carlos' dad had a really, really good job. I'm pretty sure he paid for him to go. My coach paid for me to go. And TC, when I went to Georgia camp, everything shifted. Because now, everything shifted because now I'm in a part of Georgia that people from Atlanta don't never come to Augusta unless they like golf.
Yep.
So whatever part of Georgia, I'm from Swainsboro. So listen, don't nobody know what Swainsboro is, and people don't know Augusta because of the Masters. So I'm at Georgia. I'm seeing all these players, man, all over the state. So this is when I knew it got real. The camp, you have to play an offensive position and defense. So if you play tight end, you either play linebacker, defensive end, you play cornerback, you play receiver.
Yep.
I go over there with the tight end. We running routes, doing our thing. Then they say, all right, we finna switch positions. You finna go down with the defensive ends. Listen, man, tight end position go, no, not you, True. You stay over here. What? No. You ain't going down there. What? Listen. I'm like, what you mean? You stay up here. I said, okay. But then when the other tight ends come, mind you, I'm windy now. It's hot. He said, all right, Troupe, I want you to run. I want you to demonstrate all the routes when we get into the route tree. I'm doing it. So that morning, they got the little dew on the ground. We trying to do it in the early. I slipped and I hit my shoulder. I feel like I'm tweaking my shoulder. Listen. That coach ran over to me. Listen, he ran over. I get up off the ground. Before I can say a word, he said, you done. You ain't doing nothing. Try it up. Listen, you ain't doing nothing. They put me in a little swing. They got a little swing. This is when it got funny, though. That Georgia Tech coach that asked me to come to camp. I said, I wasn't going to no camp. I look up on the hill. He on the hill. He there. He can see me. Right? But when I get back, it's like my coach, going into my senior, my coach, the stuff that my coach used to have to get me to do, he don't got to see. He said, I'm trying to show you, man. He always say, just do your part. And I do my part. Just do your part. Next thing you know, Steve Spurrier, Lou Holtz of South Carolina, Tommy Bowden. At one point, my senior year, we had Lou Holtz, Tommy Bowden, and Jim Dunn in all of my principal's office looking for me. And so Lou Holtz come to the crib. No. Tommy Bowden come to the crib. So when Tommy Bowden back out, it's a car right there, like right outside our driveway. That's Lou Holtz. He came in right behind him. It was we were the first big recruits of our kind. And when I signed to go to Florida, I didn't realize how many of my teachers were Georgia fans. They got so mad because they thought I was from Georgia. And mind you, I look back on it now. The one that really floored me with everything that went from the camp to the article. They had the North-South game and the East-West Shrine game, and I got invited to both. And I told my coach, I said, Coach Land, if it's a chance for me to play in the Florida-Georgia game, I would love to play in it. And he said, well, being a visitor, he said, I'm going to do all I can to help you get in there. I was at ROTC 4 years. So I was in ROTC all 4 years of high school. Your fourth year, you get your own like class, because you done earned it. I'm in class, my cadets, whatever. Coach Land outside. He said, hey, man, he said, listen, coach outside. Mind you, I said, what's up, coach? He ain't saying nothing. Now I'm like, wait a minute, I'm talking to your head football coach. He ain't talking about, when we walk into his office. I said, Coach, what's wrong with you? He ain't saying nothing. Walk in his office, his phone is off the hook. He said, pick it up. Say hello. I go, hello. He go, this being true? Like, yeah. He said, this is so-and-so for the Florida Georgia High School All-Star game. Congratulations. And I look at my coach. You have been selected to play in the Florida Georgia High School All-Star. And that's when I met Ronnie Brown, the number 2 overall pick in 2005. That's when I met David Green, the University of Georgia, all-time winningest. He was all-time winningest player in the SEC until other players came behind him. I mean, Vince Wilfork, he was on the Florida team. And what's crazy is I met a bunch of my teammates that I was going to Florida with because a bunch of them was at the games. I mean, I'm just looking at because you see your coach, you think you know who. Once again, David Land was just like Milton Gray. I just didn't how Milton Gray was for my mom. That's how David. But Coach Land, he know me. And David Land, they asked my coach one time. They said, "What was it about Ben that made you know he would be a good player?" He said, "Because I know." He said, "I know his people. I know who he come from." He said, you ought to see his mom and dad. You ought to see. And it's like, he don't got to say that. But, you know what I'm saying? So that's what really hit me. And out of all the coaches that came to my crib, my cousin Purcell, who's my older cousin, he's 10 years older than me. I was born in 82. He was born in 72. He the one that told me, he said, when Steve Spurrier come to your house, boy, you do not tell that man no. Out of all these coaches that came to my house, Steve Spurrier came first. Now, listen. And I just remember my lines. Like, wait a minute. Let's fair. And it's crazy, right? I got to go on I went on my official visits with Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Clemson, and Louisville. Right? Never been on a flight before. My first flight was the first team that gave me a scholarship was NC State. I was supposed to get on a flight. Flight left at 8:15. So I get to the airport at 8:00. They said, what flight are you on? Mind you, you already think the plane gonna go down in your first flight. I'm like, well, I ain't really gonna get on anyway. And that's it right there. Okay, well, we missed it. I ended up going to Louisville by myself. I flew from Augusta to Atlanta, Louisville, and I was so scared. Atlanta airport, you think it's big now? It was big back then. Man. I was so nervous on the flight going to Louisville. I put my head on this lady's shoulder sitting there. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna see I was looking at my parents like, I'm gonna miss y'all because I'm not gonna see y'all. You know what I'm saying? But it was. My experiences are so rare that. It just saying them to you here now, it's like, dude, this is Tommy. Listen, when I say Tommy Bowden, the head coach, Lou Holtz, the head coach, Steve, they're coming to your crib, not
the assistant coach, right?
Not the position coach.
Yeah, not the position coach.
When I in 2000, in certain publications, we were the number 1 recruiting class in the country when I went to Florida. Man, we had Brock Berlin, man, the number 1 quarterback in the country in '99. We had a dude named Willie Green. Willie Green was so good in high school, I've never heard it. He was so good in high school, T. Green, they retired his jersey. Wow, he's still playing. But and I just remember watching my parents. When we go to South Carolina, when we go to Clemson, when we go to Florida, when we go to Georgia, they really, I don't know what it was for them to be able to say, my daddy, because when my parents dropped me off to go to school, Summer B, we played in the Florida Georgia High School All-Star game in June, and we had like 2 weeks or so, and I had to enroll for Summer B. I caught the game-winning 2-point conversion for Team Georgia to beat Team Florida. David Green is a quarterback that threw it to me. In 2002, I caught the game-winning touchdown pass to beat Georgia. Who was the starting quarterback for Georgia?
David Green. Right.
And it's like now when I look back on it, it don't even seem real because my mom and dad and my little sister, she was probably like 1 at a time. They're supposed to be there whole week. It's killing my mama, but she ain't showing it. Yeah. Because she got to leave me.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be there all week with me. It was like we got on a Sunday. It's like maybe like a Tuesday. My daddy said, all right, son, well, your mama kind of want to see, stay to Florida a little bit or whatever. But she in the car. And the car's running.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and my dad is standing, so I can't see my mama. He's standing in front of me. And I know why he did that now. Because he did not want me to see my mama crying. He didn't want me to see. And she couldn't stand saying goodbye to me.
Right.
It goes back to what I'm saying, man. The man that I come from, this dude. It's like he can see the future. My daddy, he just understand. Listen, no lie. When I see Deion Sanders the way he is with Shadir and Shallow, that's how my daddy.
Man.
Listen. My daddy gonna protect me. My daddy gonna protect me mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually as much as he can. But this is what my daddy say. He said, "But son, to those things you need in life, I'm gonna set you free. I'm gonna turn you loose. I'm not gonna hold you back from stuff that you need." Because he say, "Look." He would always say, "Well, you the first of your kind, though." My uncle, my dad's youngest brother, my uncle Robert, he went to Fort Valley State, but he didn't. He was there for like a semester.
Yeah.
So my dad said, He said, you got everything you got everything you need to become everything you want to become, but you got to decide. You got to make a decision, because ain't nobody gonna do it but you. Ain't nobody gonna be here but you. We gonna show up on Saturdays to the game, and we gonna.
Yep.
You got to, you got to handle, and you know how it is, TC. It get rough, man. You talking about went a long way. You went to Tennessee from Cincinnati.
Ohio.
So, but it's, and when it happened, when I'm sitting there, Coach Spurrier to this day calls me Benny, because that's what my family called me.
And True, real quick, and I'm sorry for interrupting. So when it comes to you segueing into the question I was about to ask you, so I just want to go ahead and throw it out there. You in Swainsboro, Georgia. You go to the UGA Nike camp, right? That's when you realize, oh man, I am somebody special, because they don't even want me to get hurt, and you play in of course the high school Georgia versus Florida game, which is historical games, right? And when it comes to that, when you're selected, it's the best of the best of each state, and it's typically like the highest level. So if you're in Georgia at the time, probably 5A or 4A was the highest level. Now they're 7A. You go to you have your high school coach who's basically, man, he's giving you everything you need in regards to getting you your publicity and getting your name out there. And you end up playing in this Georgia Florida game. You got all these guys, who are Vince Wilford and David Green, and Wilford is on the other side. And David Green could be your quarterback in college. Now he found you in his connection, so it's like, oh man, if I go here, then I know at least this guy, he knows me. He knows me. He played with me in high school.
Most of the players in Florida, Georgia was either going to Florida or Georgia. It was
Georgia. Wow.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I was getting to now. But you going back to what your cousin said, your oldest cousin, who's 10 years ahead of you, he says he sees all these coaches come to the house, and he's like, listen. And when it comes to Steve Spurrier, for you young young athletes and audience and viewers who don't know who the old ball coach is, right? This guy was historic. He's a legend. He is a coaching phenom, especially at that time, right? Steve Spurrier. So I know growing up in that time frame, because I grew up in that time frame, that was 100% correct. Like Steve Spurrier was, the Nick Saban of college football.
He was the what everybody is doing now. What every college and high school running spread. He started in the 90s. What they're doing now, he did it back when nobody was doing it.
Right.
And it served him well.
And so you end up from Swainsboro, Georgia. You in the backyard at UGA.
Yeah.
You end up because of now. Is it because of Steve? What your cousin said? You said I'm gonna play my role. Steve Spurrier will come to my house, and if he offer me a scholarship, I don't care if it's Florida. I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes.
Okay.
But when I went on my visit to Georgia, man, they were loaded at tight end. Man, they had Randy McMichael, they had the Johnson dude, and listen, Ben Watson ain't even there yet. Listen, they were gonna have Randy McMichael, Ben Watson, and Ben Watson. Listen, and Ben Watson was the backup. He was like they played like. So I'm looking at it. So think about it. I'm going from, this is no lie, I'm going from 3 black guys that can ball to, I go to Florida. They got Aaron Walker, they got Benny Ware. I mean, they could play, but I'm like, okay, this tight end room don't seem as, I think I can handle this one.
Yeah.
So, and once again, I still get to play Georgia. I still get to play South Carolina. I still get to play Tennessee. So so it's not like me going to Georgia. Let me say this. I had some of the best options in the world. I went to a Mercedes-Benz dealership, and I got the best any car on the lot. Which color you? You see, that's how I felt, man. You know, listen. It's almost like this. I'm at the used car lot. They go. Hey man, your name Ben. Man, they told you to come over here. What you doing, man? You about to get me fired? Go over there. Go to the and the manager come out, bruh. What? I told you. I just want to get a little something. No. Hey man, open it up. They got like a little showroom in the back that open. I go, oh, they're like, hey, pick one.
Man,
You know,
this in college.
Yeah. And I'm saying no. Let me say this, people. I'm just using this as an analogy. They didn't
I
do this
got you.
for real. But when people be saying, yeah, you picked Florida over Georgia, dude, Steve Spurrier was him. Like
Him. There you go.
and think about this. People say, hey man, you're supposed to pick the school first and the coach second. That don't happen to this day.
No, it
I'm
doesn't.
picking that coach
Yep.
first.
Yep.
It's like this. Steve Spurrier, let me tell you how bad. Steve Spurrier didn't even throw the ball to the tight end. Yeah, he had Ike, he had Reedale Anthony, he had Jack West Green, he had Taylor Jacobs, Jabbar Gaff, Risha Caldwell. But in my mind, it goes back to my parenting. My mom is a God-fearing woman. She's been a God-fearing woman my whole life. I ain't never known her to be nothing but a God-fearing woman. My mama said I prayed about it. God showed me gators in my dreams, going to Florida. This is before all the recruiting started, TC. So think about this. I know I'm going to Florida, but I'm gonna get wine and dine. I'm going on every visit I can because I want to get the full experience. But let me tell you, Georgia though. Georgia, no. So my visit went Louisville, Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Now Georgia I got 5 pictures of it. Georgia was number 4. Georgia,
Number 4.
Georgia knew something. Georgia said, "Hey man, I heard through the grapevine, Spurrier want it." So when I went to Georgia, when I tell you they put a full, I mean, I'm walking the doors, they locking doors. They're like, "Listen, man, listen. You like this, right?" I'm walking in the coach's office. He got pictures. It's hard to describe. They got pictures of me all over the coach's office, but they got my whole body blacked out. So they said, "Benja," so you can't see my face on it. But I'm like, I'm a 17-year-old. They winning now. This official visit is winning.
Yes.
And when I'm leaving, they talking to my mom. Hey, Miss Troupe, just talk to him. You know what I mean? Listen, we want him here. They basically saying don't go to Florida. Like don't go on your visit to Florida. Because Georgia knew at that time, man, we competing, but they on
that team.
So when I go to Florida, and there was some controversy on that freaking visit, man. We had some crazy stuff going on that visit, like with some other recruits that was crazy. But I just remember this. I get to Florida, one of my best friends, man, Ronald Dowdy, Fayetteville, North Carolina. That boy country than me in Fayetteville, way bigger than Swainsboro. We sitting there eating, eating in the dining hall, we eating. I look at Ron, and Ron like licking his plate. I ain't saying it the first time. I'm like, he licking his plate. So we go get some more food. I'd have been on a couple of visits. And Ron played tight end too, even though he didn't end up playing tight end when he left. So after the second time he licked his plate, I said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name Ron." I said, "Stop doing that." The country boy I'm like, "Stop licking your plate, boy." Not stop licking your plate like I'm Sadiddy. Like, dude, like stop licking it. Like this food is not that good for you to be here licking his plate. And I love Ron, man. I love Ron. I love Ron. Know he my man. But it's so. Listen. It took me a full year to realize because I graduated high school when I was 17 years old. I didn't turn 18 well into my freshman season in Florida because when we first got there, they wasn't even letting me sign. It was so embarrassing. They ain't letting me sign my stuff. They're like, "You ain't 18 yet, but I can sign my name."
They ain't let you sign your letter of intent.
I go up in the O Dome. That's the basketball. That's where the basketball team played, and we walk in the back. And I got to chill. I said, "Wait a minute, bro, I've been here before." Then I walked down to the track. I said, "Wait. I was here 5 years ago."
12 years old.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, God gave me all these, like he like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna give you all these previews. Now this feature presentation gonna be crazy when I give it to you." But Coach Spurrier was only there for 2 years, then I ended up getting Ron Zook. And in my senior year, I had Chris Leak. So I'm a 21-year-old with this phenom
quarterback
from Charlotte, North Carolina, independent high. Chris Leak was him. You talking about?
I've heard this before.
Think about this. My college career, I went from Rex Grossman to Chris Lee. So I'm doing. I went from a should have won the Heisman in 2002. Nothing against you, Eric Crouch. Should have went to Rexy, but it went to Eric Crouch. I My senior year, I had to put it all together as a teammate, not a player. Because
Right.
honestly, you see, you know how it is. Everybody I want my senior year. If this is my last year, I'm trying to go out with a bang. So I walk up in Ron Zuck's office, and he said, listen, mind you, he talking to me, looking at the screen. He ain't looking at me like, listen, he's going over tape. He said, Troupe, listen. He said, two things I'm not going to do. He said, I'm not going to tell the media why I'm not throwing you the ball no more. I ain't going to answer it no more times. And he said, that freshman quarterback you got, yeah, protect it. Now here, now think about my mind shift. I done put it out, listen, killed it in the spring, killed it in the weight room, killed it in the locker room, killed it with my teammates, killed it in the film room, everything. And listen, Troupe, I know you worked 3 years to make it all about you. Nope, protect. And then, this how he really humbled me. I said, Coach, man, I did the whole, man, I can't do that, man. I'm only one person. He said, what you, he said, oh, you Martin Luther King. I said, no. He said, Martin Luther King was a poor man. He's a poor civil rights leader from Atlanta. And he had a dream speech, and everybody showed up at the right day, at the right time. He had a one-man speak. He said, so don't give me that. Don't give me that. I'm all of this, I'm all of that. He said, protect him. Because he realized, and it's so crazy. He said, but make a list. 10 things on the list. You number 10. You can put anything from 1 through 9. And you got to satisfy 1 through 9 before you get to yours. You cannot skip. Make a list of 10. You number 10 on the list. I got to satisfy 1 through 9 before I get to me. Which means if you got to you satisfy 1 through 9. But you got to do it every day. And when I tell an 18-year-old Chris Lee, who his first start on the road was at LSU, that's his first start. Death Valley. When I realized, man, it's a we thing, not a me thing. He said, I replaced the words I and me for us and we. Yes, it's a we thing, it's a us thing, because we cannot function in our society. We can't function like that. So when I put me to the side, TC, check this out, and I mean this. Man, I was up for the John Mackey Award. I ain't know who John Mackey was. Check this out. We get to the bowl game. I'm sick as a dog. I think the whole tight end room had the flu. We go out to practice in Tampa, Florida, Outback Bowl. Outback Bowl 2 years in a row. The first year in the Outback Bowl, we lost to Iowa. I caught one pass. It was Sports in the top play today. Number 1. The next year, I catch no passes. Right? Check this out. My coach said, boy, you're going to be the first ever first team All-American don't play in the bowl game. I said, wait. I said, I'm a first team All-American? Listen. He said, Ben, do me 2 things. Become a great teammate and decide you want to be the best tight end in college football. And I believe both can happen. He said, well, remember how my daddy told me? Well, you got to decide. Before all that, make a decision. When I tell you, I don't care about them. Man, when people used to put the tape on their shoes, this took me 3 years, that's spatting up. I ain't know what that was. I ain't do none of that. I was a football player. Give me some cleats, give me some gloves.
Yeah.
All the things that happened to me only happened because I listened to my coach. He said, listen, first, you embrace your role. Then you embody your role, right? If you can embrace it, you can embody it. If you can embody it, boy, you can excel in it. And you only do all those 3 things because you believe. You got to believe you can do all 3. I say this all the time. I would have loved to won the John Mackey Award. It don't make me, though. I'm going to tell you why. I lose the John Mackey Award. People ask me these questions. It's the ass and Ron's like, why didn't Ben win? Why didn't Ben win? Why did Ben win? He said, ask Ben. But they asked me, why'd you win the John Mackey Award? I said, Kellen Winslow II. Daddy is a Hall of Famer, right? Yeah, Hall of Fame tight end. My daddy was in jail. So we got different legacies. I said, but here's the thing, yeah. I said, if it's a John Troupe Award, I'll take that. He can have the John Mackey. Because I think he needs it to validate.
Right.
And
right.
K2 was him now. But I think the thing is, right, I go, you telling me a boy from Swainsboro, Georgia, walk away from college, a first team All SEC, a captain of his team his senior year, a John Mackey Award finalist, a first team All American, a second round draft pick. Because the only three things I wanted was I want to be the first guy drafted to the team I went to, check. I want to be the first guy drafted from Florida that year, check, and I wanted to walk away on my own terms. When football came to an end for me, I was in Arizona. Ken Winston Hunt was the head coach. They flew me out there. The run game coordinator, the offensive coordinator, the tight end coach, the GM, the president, and the head coach was all watching me work out. They said, Ben, we want to sign a contract. And I said, Listen, it's the most humbling thing. I said the greatest thing I ever asked was, where's the exit? Because the exit and the entrance is the same door.
Mm-hmm.
I said, where's the exit? I got a free flight to California. They thought I was going out there to try for the Raiders. All I'm saying is, because I knew that I could still do it, I could walk away. The game gonna retire us all.
100%.
You see, there is no greater feeling in the world. Here's the thing, though. Check this out. Ken Wisenhunt, the head coach, went to Richmond Academy. Richmond Academy is in Augusta, Georgia. Yeah. So for me, it's it's to say, wait a minute, Lord, you mean to tell me this was my dream? He goes, no, this ain't your dream. This is what you thought was your dream. Your dream gonna happen when football is over. So now I did not have a plan, but I did know football was over. And
right.
I didn't have no regrets because the league didn't tell me, hey, Ben, you lost a step, you just stand third. No. Listen, I put on for Arizona. I'm doing everything they asked me to do. I'm been in the league 5 years already, so I know what I'm doing. And when they said, "Hey Ben, we already talked to your agent, man. We got a contract ready for you to sign," and they had Larry Fitzgerald, 2004 draft pick like myself, number 3 overall pick. I was number 40 overall pick. And I just think that that's the thing that I want these youngers to understand is the hardest thing for me is to realize was I used to think that, man, I am only it because I am a byproduct of those things. And somebody go, no, those things are a byproduct of me. Like UT Martin is not a byproduct of Tori and Steve. No. No. You could have chose anywhere. You chose them. Obviously, they won't. How hard is it to go recruit the best players in the world? Even I got to go to Cincinnati to get it.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, I'm on that plane saying goodbye to the one thing that has always been loyal. Football has always been loyal because it don't owe me nothing. I love it. It don't love me. But everything I learned in life, to me, football was life. 100 yards long, 53.5 yards wide. Everything happened in life happened on that field, boy. Everything. Disappointment, heartbreak, triumph, breakdowns, breakthroughs, all that stuff, right? So for me, I'm saying goodbye to what gave me me.
Yeah.
So I thought. So that's what. So so it's like, well, being what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? And I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I knew football had come to an end because I was injured so much. I got some great memories in football. Some great memories. I caught a touchdown pass from Steve McNair. I caught Vince Young's first touchdown pass as a starter. He threw to me against the Dallas Cowboys against Roy Williams in Tennessee. I caught one pass my rookie year on Christmas Day against the Denver Broncos. I completely jumped over Champ Bailey. And listen, Champ Bailey, Hall of Fame Champ Bailey.
Hall of Fame Champ.
And slapped him on the butt when I ran by him. When I ran by him.
Yes, so
I caught a touchdown pass against Troy Polamalu. My favorite football player to watch was Brian Dawkins. Caught a touchdown pass against Brian Dawkins. I got to play with Derek Brooks and Rondé Barber. I got to play with, Lindell White and Pac-Man Jones. I got to play with Jamarcus Russell and Darren McFadden. I got to meet Al Davis when I tried out for the Oakland Raiders. I played for the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2008. I played the first 2 games. I got cut. You know how I know I got cut? My brother called me on the phone. Listen, we played Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. I go watch the film on Monday. It's Tuesday, the day off. My brother said, boy, you just got cut by the Bucks. Listen, my brother, I'm like, what are you talking about? But listen, I get in my car. Instead of going to the Bucks, I get in my car, drive home, turn on TV, ESPN bottom line, being Troupe cut by the Bucks. Mark Dominic calls me. Say, hey, man, we ain't gonna let you think John Gruden never called me, never said anything, which he don't got to. I ain't got no.
Right.
This is my two. Mark Dominic said, "Troupe, I think you're gonna be fine. I think you're gonna land on your feet." Wednesday, I get a call from Atlanta Falcons. I fly up there on Wednesday night. I spend it on Thursday. We have a workout. Rand Carthon, the former Tennessee Titan GM, former teammate of mine, 4 years in Florida. He said, "Ben, we're not gonna sign you because it's too close to game day." He said, "You better than anybody on the field right now, but it's too close to game day." I fly from Atlanta to Oakland. Never been to Oakland, California. Never been to Oakland, California to live there.
Right.
Get off the plane Thursday, go to this hotel, wake up the next day, wake up in the morning. All I got is a bag.
Yeah.
I go out there. I put on some workout stuff. I do my routes. Listen, Lane Kiffin is the head coach of the Raiders. Lane Kiffin is the head coach of the Raiders at the time. I'm running around. I turn around. Everybody looking up on the second floor. It's his all glass office. It's Al there. He walks up, he pulls back the shade, he looks at me, he points at me and goes like this. That's how I became a Raider. That was my week after getting cut. I take a shower, I go upstairs, I sign my contract. After I sign my contract, I go get on a plane to fly to Buffalo. I know Gerard Warren, big money, who played with me at Florida. I know D'Angelo Hall, who was in my draft class. I don't know him, but I met Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah, Nnamdi Asomugha.
And I wouldn't trade none of it because I'm a vested vet player, because I'm a vet, and I was on the Tampa Bay Bucks opening roster. I got paid twice that year. I got paid by the Bucks and I got paid by the Raiders. The Bucks owed me my whole salary that year. So if the Bucks would have went to the Super Bowl, I would have got all those checks.
Right.
Now I didn't know that. They said you get the double dip. What?
It's a double dip, baby.
So for me, TC, it's the I hope every future athlete, current athlete, former athlete knows this. Your identity is not the sport. The sport gave you identity, but that's not your identity. And there is nothing wrong with starting over, man. There ain't nothing wrong. If you are willing to fail, boy, success is waiting on you, boy.
We can do some. Bro, keep talking that shit, you just might move some. Apply that pressure. Apply that pressure.